Heat 2 has really picked up steam in the last few months compared to the quiet few years it had beforehand. United Artists, the Amazon MGM Studios division, picked the project from Warner Brothers after the latter let the movie be shopped in August, when a budget could not be agreed upon with Michael Mann. Scott Stuber, Jerry Bruckheimer, and Nick Nesbitt are attached as producers, with Shane Salerno and Eric Roth as the executive producers for the film. Bruckheimer stated that the hope was that the filming would begin in August of 2026. When asked about what were the determining factors for the hopeful beginning, Bruckheimer stated that Leonardo DiCaprio and Michael Mann were the two key elements. This likely references how DiCaprio will be filming movies back-to-back in 2026, as he is also teaming up with Jennifer Lawrence under the direction of Martin Scorsese. In an interview with Deadline, DiCaprio explained that Heat 2 would very much be its own movie, tipping its hat to the original as an act of homage, but picking up where the story left off from there while existing as its own thing. He would also not clarify who he would be playing, saying it was still something that was being discussed. Deadline would also break the next exclusive relating to Heat 2, that Christian Bale was circling a major role in the film. Bale previously worked with Michael Mann on Public Enemies in 2009, the gangster film also starring Johnny Depp as John Dillinger. Nexus Point News then on December 26th announced that Stephen Graham was reportedly being offered the part of a young Neil McCauley for the film's 1988 flashbacks. Graham also worked with Mann on Public Enemies. The report further suggested that DiCaprio would be playing Chris Shearless and that Bale was up for Vincent Hanna, played by Val Kilmer and Al Pacino respectively. World of Real reposted this news, noting that Nexus has a fair track record for casting scoops, and while they agreed that Graham was likely in the film, doubted his casting as McCauley. Graham is actually 1 year older than De Niro in Heat, which doesn't make much sense since the character is supposed to be 7 years younger. Rumored names are still the same usual suspects, including Austin Butler, who has constantly been brought up for young Val Kilmer, and Adam Driver, who has been attached since the beginning as Neil McCauley, even mentioned by Mann during his Ferrari press tour. Bradley Cooper, Jeremy Allen White, and Channing Tatum are also in the circle of rumors for interested parties. It is my personal opinion that Stephen Graham is a solid actor, but not right for this part. Of course, maybe he has the potential to hit it out of the park, and only time will tell. But just my familiarity with his work, I don't think he carries the same gravitas required to fill the shoes of De Niro. While this film may be its own animal and exist on its own plane, the precedence is still there from the likes of Pacino, De Niro, Val Kilmer, and company. The film picks up where the last one left off and fills the gaps of previous history. They exist in the same world, and maybe that's on different levels, but they are still connected. I like the casting of Bale as Pacino, as possible as it might be. I think he is one of the few actors that fits all the requirements for Vincent Hanna, being age appropriate and able to step into the bombastic and over-the-top energy that Pacino brings while never feeling cartoony or unnatural. DiCaprio as Shearless is a casting I still don't love, but DiCaprio is one of the all-time great actors, and he can carry his own weight. I think Driver is a no-brainer for the part of Neil McCauley. He is stoic and menacing in the same ways of De Niro. He has weight to his portrayal, and he can play the younger and more naive version very well. I can see him stepping into the shoes of De Niro. It's interesting after all this that we still don't know who anyone is playing. Perhaps Graham really is cast as the younger Neil McCauley, but if Driver is still attached, then who is he playing? He's been tied to that character since the beginning, and before the screenplay was even completed. Austin Butler has also been pointed to since the release of the novel as the perfect pick for Chris Shearless. Bradley Cooper, Jeremy Allen White, Channing Tatum, where do they fit? Complex characters played by Tom Sizemore, Jon Voight, and McKelly Williamson are still yet to be filled. Not to mention Ashley Judd Charlene is a critical role, and Natalie Portman Lauren is also relevant to the feature film. Will different actors play the younger and older versions of the characters? Will some of these names fill out the supporting roles? Once more, only time will tell. I certainly think that DiCaprio and Bale, across from each other, is one of the few combos that could somewhat compare to De Niro and Pacino, although there is truly no combo that it could ever match.